Well, it is another day where I have to report some furry cons that have been canceled. So I'm going to go straight into it. There was one that um, I was going to go to, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen now. But before we go down to that, now CastleCon has now said that they are canceled for this year. But now, the one that I was going to go to, Megaplex, has now been canceled for this year. Now, they did release a statement, and I'll try to make it brief. They had a meeting and were trying to determine if they would be able to do the con safely and if people were even going to come. They simply were not going to take that chance, so they have decided to hold off on the con until next year. So, what you can do now is that, just like with the other cons, you can donate the proceedings to the convention itself, transfer to next year, or get a full refund. So, it's the same routine as always. The other one is one that I used to go to, Medfit Fur Meet. That has now been canceled. It was scheduled for September 4th through 6th. Now, considering that that is pretty late, that should be really concerning for those that are in the fall. Because September, we're still quite a ways away from the fall season. And so now with stuff like Midwest Fur Fest, I would have to imagine that they're now really keeping a close eye on the virus. And this is a pretty unique situation for them, seeing that they are the biggest furry con in the world. They're the only ones that have 5 digits for attendance. Now, with them using both the Hyatt Regency O'Hare and the Convention Center, even with all that space, I don't know if you can social distance in all that space with over 10,000 people. And that's something that they're going to have to take into consideration. And even though that they're the ones that have the most time to make a decision, this is not going to be an easy one. They have to coordinate all this. So I would imagine we're going to have an announcement from them very soon, even though that they still have another less than 7 months before their convention is scheduled to come. This is not going to be an easy situation, because now that they got to sort all this out, because chances are we're still going to have this virus around by the time December comes around. And even though that we're optimistic that a vaccine is going to be coming by the end of the year, there's no guarantee it's going to come out by that time. So there is one other con I need to point out here that is pretty interesting. Well, 2 of them actually. This one just came to my attention. FurCan, scheduled for July 18th and 19th. They're still scheduled to proceed on. Same thing with Conference for July 31st to August 2nd. They're still going to push forward. At least that's what their plan is. For FurCan, that is where? Mexico, I think. Yeah, Puebla, Mexico. And the other is in Ottawa, Canada. And I took the liberty of looking up the numbers for Ottawa. They currently have 1,753 laboratory confirmed cases, including 189 deaths. 49 are currently hospitalized, and there are 20 outbreaks in institutions. Now, even though that's nowhere near the worst case scenario, you still have to consider if it's even a good idea to do a con with the virus still out there. I mean, you still have to make sure that everyone is distancing with one another. Everyone's washing their hands. I'm not aware of what the current restrictions are in Canada. I'm only aware of what's going on here in the United States. Like here in North Carolina, we're currently in phase 1, which they're starting to ease restrictions over here. We're scheduled to go to phase 2 at the earliest next week, at which point they'll start to ease more restrictions on restaurants. Stuff like hair salons, they'll be able to open up, but with some restrictions on them. So that's pretty much what I have to cover here. Now that's what I have to cover as far as furry conventions. But there's one other piece of news that I have to cover, and this is not furry related. This is something completely different. But it has something to do with my DJ set from last weekend. And I did not know about this until just a short time ago. Now, every weekend I do a DJ set, which lasts about 90 minutes. And so this is my set from last week. Now, someone in a chat room, now they posted a link and for everyone to see. I tried to click on it, and it came to my attention that particular person blocked me, which I was surprised because I thought we had a good relationship going. But I asked him about it, and he brought up one artist's name that I was not familiar with, and his name is Bryan Adams, and I didn't know who that was at first, because that's not a singer that I listen to. But when he pointed out that his name appeared on my Twitter feed, I started to understand where he got that name from. See, when I play live sets, whenever I play a track, it automatically gets posted on my Twitter feed to try to promote the stream. But the one that he's talking about here is down here at number 9, where his name gets mentioned. And even though this is a remix, nonetheless, his name's up there. Now, why in the world would I be mentioning this to you? Well, this. Now, this article has been up for 3 days, and I had no idea that this had happened. I don't go actively looking for news on musicians or celebrities because I don't care what happens in their personal life. I only care about stuff that's affecting me. But in this case, yeah, I kind of have to get involved in this. So, you see the headline there: singer Bryan Adams slammed as racist for post blaming bat-eating people for coronavirus. Now, usually nowadays when people start accusing racism, I roll my eyes because I hear it many, many times. But in this case, yeah. I'm just going to highlight this and let you read it. I'm not going to repeat what he said. But it's pretty nasty. But, so he posted this both on Instagram and Twitter. And people were just lashing out at him for those comments. And, yeah, and even at the end, it says that he did apologize for the comments and removed them from his accounts. But nonetheless, as this person says, the damage has been done. And yeah, while I understand that he has apologized, he's just made a huge mistake. And So now his name has just become toxic. Now it's become a liability. Uh, and so yeah, this person mentioned this to me that it appeared on my feed. Now keep in mind that this set was recorded 2 days before he made those comments. So there's no way I would have known that he was going to say those words. But so let me go down to my recycle bin. See, yeah, this was the track that I had in my library. It's now been removed from the library. Yeah, I kept it in a recycle bin so to show you. And even though that this is a remix, with all apologies to Giuseppe Ottaviani who made this remix, the name has become a liability now. So I cannot play this track anymore. I cannot play anything with it with that name on it, because of the perception that that people have of him now. Now and at this point, it doesn't matter if he apologizes or not. People are going to be complaining if I play a track with his name on it now. So because of that, yeah, I can't play this track anymore. And I understand that people can get angry and say stuff they don't mean in the heat of the moment, but this was crossing a line. So yeah, I can't play this one anymore. So I just wanted to bring that on, and so what my routine is for prepping for my sets every week. This is the website that I use to know what is the latest tracks that have been placed out for everyone to listen to. So this is the top 100 on Beatport under the trance category. Now, I brought this up about 15 minutes ago, and I was surprised to see that particular track is actually up at number 2. I was not expecting that, considering that article has now been out for 3 days now. Whether that is because of those that are a fan of Bryan Adams, whether they're showing support for him, I don't know. It only counts like people who've played the track. So that's pretty much how I got. And that particular track was released last week. So this is only a week old. And so unfortunate for Mr. Giuseppe Ottaviani, who worked so hard to make this track, just for Bryan Adams to make comments just a few days after the fact. So that's pretty much all I have to cover here. But yeah, this is where I get all my tracks from. They get listed here. I listen to a sample on there, and if I think it's good, I'll download it and get it ready for the set. So, but that's pretty much all I have to cover here, and I know that's not furry related, but I had to bring that up because it does relate to me as far as my DJ set, so I had to clarify that. So that's pretty much it, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.